Dash, we start with 1 hour chart. Okay, if you refer to our analysis in my last video when the price was exactly here, we mentioned how we can look for trade. We mentioned if there is a continuation, having entry above this is not a good idea. That's why I mentioned if we get a continuation, any correction of flag, we can look for trade. We get this one. If anyone get the trade from this, I think right now they should take out the trade. Okay, because even after they see this movement, this correction, they shouldn't be in the trade, because mostly we mention any trade from now we consider as a short-term trade. That means as long as we get into the profit, we start to manage. If anyone get the trade from here, when they see this movement, they get in the profit, and the second correction where we have to start to manage. Okay, anyway, if still anyone in the trade, they should take out the trade. And beside that, if we refer to our analysis, when the price was here, we mentioned the best way if we want to look for trade within this one, we have to get the one more drop. We get the drop, but it was not that deep. All right, anyway, even there was a possibility to look for this trade. All right, anyway, if I move to 15 minutes, what I want to say is that when we mentioned we need to get one more drop, at that time the price was within this. All right, we were expected this one turn to a deeper correction. But what's the reason I mentioned right now we can look for this? Because when we see we get one reversal, the second drop, it couldn't break this one, then we can consider this is as a sharp move, and this one we consider as a correction of flag for continuation. Okay, that's why at that times, if we want to look for trade, the best thing is to have entry above this. Okay, anyway, anyone, if they get the trade, I think right now, if they can move their stop loss to break even, they do. If not, they take out the trade, because the way it's moving is really corrective. Okay, in this case, we move to daily chart. Okay, what we have based on daily chart, we see the price broke the previous stop, but as we can see, it's reversed. Now we want to see how we can look for the next trade, and as even we see, we have a divergence. Okay, the only thing is we need to be quite careful in case we get the bigger correction here or deeper correction. That's why if we want to trade based on lower time frame, we need to look for the proper trade setup. We need to see the breakout of the previous stop and continuation. Anyway, even based on forward chart, we need to look at this. What I want to say that if we want to look for trade, wait for the correction. Rather than that, we are not going to jump into the trade. And even based on forward chart, we don't have any trade yet. And if I move to 1 hour chart, even based on 1 hour chart, the way is moving. I won't like it because of the all big shadow. Okay, still we can look for, if we get a correction, we can look for flat, or even we can put similar to any of this. But if we get any trade by small correction, as we know, we should consider as a short term. As long as we get into the profit, they start to manage, start to correct, we should take out the trade, or start to manage the trade. Anyway, we don't have any trade set up yet. Still, we can look for the short-term trade, but any short-term trade, we know that uh, as long as we get into the profit, we start to manage. Okay, this is what we I mean, every time we mention, because then the reason is because the price is almost at the top. The best thing is if we get a better confirmation correction for continuation. In this case, we just follow the chart. If I see any trade setup that confirm the next move, I will share. And from now, as I mentioned, we can look for continuation, but any trade we consider as a short term. Anyway, if I see any update, I will share. Thanks.